are you? How is the family? How is mommy, daddy, and the children? Hope you had a restful night, and I'm thankful that you've started your Tuesday here with us at Good Morning Grenada. Thank you. Only like the accent. I'll tell all of the things that take me sometimes. Good morning, everybody. Bless up your whole selves on this terrific Tuesday. It is May 11th, 2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. And good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, Hot 98.5, 98.7. That one was out of habit. There's no hot. And there's no hot. Gary simply Mr. Smooth. Gary Mr. Smooth is at the sister station at Hot 98, but out of habit, after weeks of bigging him up, it comes naturally sometimes. But nevertheless, if you see somebody listening to Hot, tell them Blossom, say good morning anyway. And good morning to all of you joining us on the Party Grenada and Go To Fet Facebook pages. Thank you so much for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada. Thank you so much to the folks joining us across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, for Northwest Jamaica, for Southwest Guyana, for Southwest as the ABC Islands, for Northeast of Grenada as Barbados, all the islands in between. A spicy 473 Grenadian morning to each and every one of you. And those of you joining us internationally, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Bless up your whole selves. It is Tuesday, and let's get right into this morning's word of the day. This morning's word of the day is frugal. Frugal. It's spelled F-R-U-G-A-L. Frugal. It's an adjective which means characterized by or reflecting economy in the use of resources. Those who are frugal are willing to lavishly enjoy the fruits of their labors, so it may surprise you to learn that frugal ultimately derives from the Latin word frux, which means fruit or value. Hold on, starting up the song again. Right. And is even a distant cousin of the Latin word for enjoy. The connection between fruit or value and restraint was first made in Latin. The Middle French word that English speakers eventually adopted as frugal came from the Latin adjective which is a descendant, meaning virtuous or frugal. Although English speakers adopted frugal by the 16th century, they were already lavishly supplied with earlier coinages to denote the idea, including sparing and thrifty. The word of the day this morning is frugal. F-R-U-G-A-L. It's an adjective which means characterized by or reflecting economy in the use of resources. An example of the use of the word: frugal diners might prefer hitting Ulrich's on Monday nights when all burgers are 3% off. Another example of the use of the word: but a frugal lifestyle doesn't have to mean a deprived lifestyle. In fact, I've managed to whittle down my spending and boost my savings by making a few simple but meaningful choices. The word of the day this morning is frugal. F-R-U-G-A-L, an adjective which means characterized by or reflecting economy in the use of resources. Some people say it means cheap. You find it hard to spend at $2. You're just I see it as being resourceful and economical in these tough, hard, COVIDious times. Frugal is not cheap. Frugal is just being wise with your spending. Okay, so try and be a little frugal today. So put back the packet of meat for $12.98 and pick up one for $11.98. That whole dollar could go somewhere else. You understand? So be a little frugal today. Use the word of the day. Put it into action today. Frugal. An adjective meaning characterized by reflecting economy in the use of resources, aka wise in spending. That's Blossom's definition. Wise in spending. All right, let's see what's the thought of the day on this fabulous Tuesday. What looks like it might be a sunny Tuesday. Fingers crossed. The thought of the day is, someday everything will make perfect sense. So for now, laugh at the confusion, smile through the tears, be strong, and keep reminding yourself that everything happens for a reason. Someday, everything will make perfect sense. So for now, Laugh at the confusion, smile through the tears, be strong, and keep reminding yourself that everything happens for a reason. It's not always easy to think that way. Sometimes it's just too difficult and tough. But then whether it's tomorrow, next week, next year, 10 years from now, it'll make sense why it happened that way, and you realize it happened for a reason. So sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and push through, keep pushing through. It is happening for a reason. So the thought of today: some days everything will make perfect sense. So for now, laugh at the confusion, smile through the tears, be strong, and keep reminding yourself that everything happens for a reason. That's the thought of today. All right, and let's see what is celebrated today, May 11th, 2021. Today it is being celebrated as Eat What You Want Day. Eat What You Want Day. At this point, I feel like somebody's setting me up for failure. Somebody set me up, because the other day was no diet day, and that was just the other day, and today is Eat What You Want. Somebody trying to trick me. But nevertheless, it says restricting yourself from your favorite foods can be difficult. That is why on May 11th, we celebrate Eat What You Want Day. On this day, people are encouraged to treat themselves by giving in to their sweet tooth, carb loading without having a marathon to run, and eating breakfast for dinner. Because on Eat What You Want Day, no one can tell you what not to eat. Usually I'm inside with these things, but I'm starting to feel as though somebody out to get me. The other day they told me break my diet. I broke it, and I was like about 2 weeks ago, last week maybe. And now you want me to eat what? I mean, no, don't try to tie me up. If you want to eat what you want to, set up yourself. Feel free. Dive in. Blossom gonna be cautious with this one. Blossom gonna be cautious with this one, because at this point they're trying to set me up for failure. Not today, Satan. But if you want to dive in, set up yourself right and dive in. Throw it out. Eat what you want today. It's Eat What You Want Day. Nobody can tell you what not to eat. Set up yourself right. Do it cautiously and in moderation on Eat What You Want Day. Whatever that thing is, eat it today. Blossom will be cautious. Okay, let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we bring you highlights of last evening's newscast. It's Good Morning Grenada on what is hopefully going to be a sunny Tuesday morning. Stick and stay. Good Morning Grenada will be right back.
What transpired on Friday while members of the RGPF were in a pursuit of a suspected vehicle sounds like a scene out of an action film, as guns, a high-speed chase, deflated tires, and an abandoned vehicle left officers requesting the assistance of the general public. Here's a report of the weekend's activities.
Over the weekend, officers attached to the drug squad units of the Royal Grenada Police Force encountered what they call a hostile situation with occupants of a target vehicle during a mid-morning operation at Content St. David on Friday, May 7th, 2021. According to a police report, in an attempt to intercept the vehicle, the driver crashed into another unsuspecting vehicle and the police vehicle while attempting to escape. The officers then discharged their firearms towards the vehicle, making contact with one of the tires, which deflated. However, the vehicle continued. The occupants escaped the scene, resulting in a pursuit by the police, who later found the vehicle abandoned. The vehicle, which is a white Suzuki Escudo, registration number PAN 813, was impounded and investigations are ongoing. The RGPF seeks the assistance of the general public in identifying the occupants of the vehicle at the time of the incident. Still in traffic affairs, the traffic department recorded over 70 accidents over the last week, a slight decline from the previous week. However, both weeks saw what normally would amount to a 3-week record amounted to in 1 week. Superintendent Randy Connaught, head of the traffic department, provided statistics of the past week's records by the department.
The traffic department has had yet another very busy week, having to respond to quite a number of road accidents throughout the island. Now, during the period 1st to the 9th of May, we had a total of 71 accidents. 70 of those accidents were very minor in nature. However, we had one serious accident occurring within the parish of St. David. It is very worrying to us at the traffic department having to contend with this sudden increase in road accidents. The numbers 84 and 71 are accidents that we would normally record over a 3-week period.
Superintendent Connaught says the inclement weather, coupled with a lack of due care and attention exercised, had a part to play in this week's statistics.
We have seen from the investigations conducted thus far that one of the major contributing factors to those accidents were the failure of drivers to exercise the degree of care and caution, which of course was compounded by the inclement weather that we experienced over the past couple of days. Now, this sudden change would obviously elevate our operational response and cause us to upgrade our operational response.
Police matters continue. Devon Alexander of Richmond Hill, St. George, who was detained by police on Friday, May 7, 2021, was arrested and charged after officers discovered a quantity of drugs, a firearm, and ammunition. Police discovered 12 packages containing plant-like material resembling cannabis, 1 Beretta, 32 pistol, and 36 rounds of ammunition at the residence of Alexander. He appeared at the St. George's Magistrates Court on Monday, May 10, 2021, and was granted bail in the amount of $10,000 with one surety. As part of his bail conditions, Alexander was required to surrender all his travel documents. He will reappear in court on June 28, 2021. For GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
The Public Relations Officer for the Public Workers Union, Daisy Hazard, is setting the record straight against claims by government and its ministers that they had met with the union and a date is set for further discussions. Hazard is countering that it was deliberate misinformation by government. Jared Joseph has the details.
The Public Workers Union was supposed to meet with the government to sign a fringe benefit package. This is, according to Public Relations Officer for the Public Workers Union, Daisy Hazard, who notes that it was not, as being claimed, a meeting with the government negotiating team to discuss the 4% increase in salaries. However, that too fell to the wayside, as Hazard says, upon examining the fringe benefit package, it was a far cry from what was initially agreed on.
It was a package that we could not sign. Some of it was asking us literally to sign away our rights to undertake industrial action. Some of it was so ambiguous, and it was not what the union had agreed on in our last sitting with government, and so we could not sign. And we indicated to government that we were going to send this back, and we would therefore have to do a new date. In
a press release issued by the Government Information Service on April 27th, the government said a letter from the government's negotiating team dated March 30th, 2021, addressed to the PW president, invited him and other union representatives to a meeting on April 7th, 2021. And I quote, in response to this invitation, the GNT was verbally informed that the PW was not ready to meet. To date, government has not received written correspondence from the PW with regard to a meeting. End of quote. Additionally, the release further stated that by way of the March 30th letter, the government's negotiating team also advised the union that the collective agreement between the government and the PW for the period January 1st, 2013 to December 31st, 2018 remains unsigned. However, Hazard told GBN that government instead misconstrued the information for the public to lay blame on the PW for not showing up after a date had been set.
I can tell you now is that since then, we have met with the Labour Commissioner. It was a very preliminary and explorative meeting where we laid our case on the table before him, because even if it's in the public domain, we cannot just, take it for granted that he knows or he understands all of the issues. So we would have put forward our case, and we have a commitment on the table from Labour Commissioner Mr. Cyrus Griffith, and we do trust his word that before the close of this week, before Friday of this week, on or before Friday of this week, he will indicate to us that there will be a meeting, and we will attend. We are waiting to attend that meeting.
The PWPRO says the union has had no discussions with the government concerning an end-of-year payment of the 4% increase in salaries.
We know that the GUT has had those discussions, and we also know that based on arrangements with public sector union. If one union goes ahead and settles or has some sort of an agreement or discussions about December, we expect that all discussions will go to December as well. But so far we have not had those discussions.
Hazard adds that government still remains hesitant on returning to the table to legally document a date for the payment. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell has warned permanent secretaries in the Ministry of Health about condoning wrong behavior within the public service. This was one of the outcomes during a meeting last Wednesday when the Prime Minister met with the Minister of Health, Nicholas Steele, and the senior staff in that ministry. Details in this report.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell pointed to what appears to him to be a buddy system that provides protection for individuals rather than seek accountability and discipline where necessary. This, he says, cannot be condoned. The Prime Minister emphasized the need for accountability and cooperation as key guiding principles for the proper functioning of the Ministry of Health. The notice was served on them as the Prime Minister continues his series of visits to the various ministries. With the ministry now separated into health and hospitality and community services, the Prime Minister stressed the need for both to function collaboratively, noting there will be a period of adjustment as he reminded them that no decision-making should be done in isolation. Referring to the ministry shared between Minister Steele and Minister Delma Thomas, the Prime Minister said there should be no perception that one minister or permanent secretary is more senior than another, maybe with respect to years of service, but that's all, he says. On the subject of accountability, Dr. Mitchell says it is important that public officers understand the system under which they operate. He implored on the permanent secretaries the importance of understanding the rules that guide the operation of the public sector. Conditions at the Mungay Psychiatric Hospital, the rate of staff turnover, relevant training for nurses and other health staff, the ability of the ministry to adapt the dynamic healthcare profile, and the impact of the chronic disease on healthcare system are some of the issues raised by staff members. In his comment, the health minister stated that the past year has been a particularly trying one for the Ministry of Health, noting that the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic has left health workers tired, but they are also stronger and more resilient, and commended all for their efforts. The Prime Minister gave the assurance to fully support the health minister and his administrative team. Christina John, GBN News.
Former Finance Minister Nazim Burke is of the opinion that not much thought went into the appointment of the Grenada Board of Directors.
Burke said while he is not questioning the certification or competence of those elected to the Grenada board, he believes the construct should be more representative and is concerned that the regular shareholders may not have a say on the board.
Now, the government has offered no reason or explanation as to why they considered it necessary to reduce the board at this particular point in time. Something must explain why they're doing it. And if there is a good reason, a legitimate and professional reason, there is nothing wrong in sharing that with the public. Let us know what your thinking is.
Burke said while he is not questioning the certification or competence of those elected to the Grenada board, he believes the construct should be more representative and is concerned that the regular shareholders may not have a say on the board.
Historically, the regular ordinary members, shareholders I mean here, about 1,300 or so in numbers, they have always had a say in the composition of the board. And I believe that they normally had the opportunity to select about 3 of the 12 members. If you reduce the membership to 9 of the board, they will no longer have representation. They will no longer have the freedom or the opportunity to choose 3 people. And if the government has a 71% stake as the majority owner of the company, it will get to decide who sits on the board.
He suggested names he believes should be considered on the board.
The government should be taking the lead to ensure, for example, that the Chamber of Commerce is represented on such a body, that industry experts or people with industry experience in electricity generation and distribution are among them. You know, we have people like Clive Houston, we have people like Rodney George, you know. These are people who have worked in the industry for years, who know the industry, know what is involved, and there are others, who may play a role. You may even decide to have somebody from outside the country who is not based here, given the fact that boards are now meeting, virtually in this post-COVID era. You may have competent people, Grenadians and non-Grenadians, who you may have one or two persons sitting on your board to add value to the board.
The board was elected during the company's annual general meeting on April 29th. The other 9 members of the board are Dorset Cromwell, Devon Charles, Sean Charles, Winifred Duncan Phillip, Linda George Francis, Kent Mitchell, Dwayne Noel, Kay Simon, and former now advisor to Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, Alexandra Otway Noel. For GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
What is lupus? Lupus is a long-term autoimmune disease in which the body's immune system becomes hyperactive and attacks normal, healthy tissue. A medical student living with the disease sought to raise awareness and how she has learned to manage her challenge as the world observes World Lupus Day. Chrislina John has this story.
Inflammation caused by lupus can affect many different body systems, such as swelling and damage to the joints, skin, kidney, blood cells, heart, brain, and lungs. Today, as World Lupus Day is being observed, GBN shares the story of Maurice Smith, a first-term medical student at the St. George's University. It's been 2 years since Maurice has been diagnosed with lupus. She explained what she experienced, which were the early signs of the disease.
Lupus basically started off with just joint pain. Like I would get up every morning and a finger would hurt, my back would hurt, my side would hurt, and I'm like, what is going on? And around that time we had like chikungunya going around. So then I just think, it's just the effects of that. There's a mosquito that bite me. So, I didn't take it serious. But then eventually other things started happening. I started to feel tired. I started getting more headaches. I started to swell. And I was like, you know what? Something has to be wrong. This can't be no chikungunya. It affects my brain. So sometimes I get lots of headaches and so on.
Checks at the hospital later revealed it was lupus. As a medical student having to study and with the disease attacking her brain, Maurice shares how she manages her hideous challenge.
Very tough, because there was one time when it really escalated and then I couldn't speak, I couldn't read. I basically had to come out of school, and at that moment I thought, you know what, this is the end. I would not be able to do medicine anymore. But then eventually, after I started medication and treatment and so on, all the symptoms subside. So now, in order for me to not have flare, I ensure to manage my time and manage the way I eat, manage the way I sleep, the things I stress about. Stress is my number one problem, and I think this is what caused me to gets to this point with this whole lupus.
Smith says she is more motivated now than before as she pursues her career in medicine. She's looking ahead with great optimism.
I'm still in medical school, but when I'm finished with medical school, I would like to specialize in rheumatology. It's basically a field where you basically treat people with lupus and RA and those kind of things like that. Looking forward to treating people with the same condition that I have, because I understand exactly what they go through. And sometimes when I speak to people who have the condition, they always say, I don't think my doctor understands me. And I feel like he just prescribing medication to me, but to really understand what I go through on a daily basis, it's like they don't understand. But I feel like I would be that doctor, I would not be prescribing, but I would understand exactly what they go through emotionally,
Studies reveal some early signs of lupus include fatigue, fever, joint pain, weight changes. The Lupus Foundation in Grenada was launched in 2008 to provide support and raise awareness on the disease. To date, over 35 people have been diagnosed with the disease, with the possibility of more people suffering from the condition. Chrislina John, GBN News.
It can be suggested that Grenada has some substandard roads. The constant cries of motorists and the occasional pothole and narrow winding roads can all be attributed to that assumption. The Prime Minister says he is aware of the inconveniences caused by the diminishing road network, which he hopes to address in time.
On the list of pressing issues facing the country, coming second to COVID-19 was the issue of the road network. This, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell says, surprised him, as he wasn't aware of how much of an impact it was having on the livelihoods of citizens compared to other issues which would have taken precedence in the past. The Prime Minister said because the need for better roads is high on the list and would require a great deal of money, other issues would have to be sidelined if it was to be rectified.
But the second one was road. That one surprised me. Because in other surveys we've done, generally speaking, you get things like other issues emerging, like jobs and so on, as being more factor. Jobs were there too, but way down. And the road network, road problem was named as the second most important issue. And the Ministry of Works has to be, of course, increase its activity in every way. But of course, again, road network, as you know, requires a lot of money. And that's the point. Should we ignore the road network through the capital program that we have and the resources given for that purpose and spend it and in paying additional monies to the workforce, the established workforce in particular, and forget the quality of life of the people, which is reflected to some extent on the road situation in the country.
The Prime Minister says he has not been spared from the road issue because his constituency is among the most severely impacted by the disrupted road network.
We are aware of that fundamental problem and we are working to improve this. It is well known. I, as a parliamentary representative, probably suffer than most because the Northwest area has been impacted tremendously. The loss of that Millennium Road and the impact it has on the people in that particular section, the economic life has been enormous. The fact that now we have to inconvenience the people of Montmorris, and because you and I know some of the drivers in our country are not always been responsible in dealing with the things that they do. When they ply the roads in this country, you see people throwing all kinds of stuff as they pass by from buses and trucks and so on the road, impacting the lives of the people of Montmorris and the community on that side. So I empathize with the people, and of course, I myself have to pass in that narrow piece of road. And the Ministry of Work has tried their best to do that, but that road is under the Feeder Roads project. It's going to be a major construction.
For GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
Ongoing developments in Dominica, which dates back to 2014, in an election cheating claim could have repercussions for Grenada and its next general elections carded for 2023. Cheating refers to directly or indirectly providing food, drink, or entertainment to a person during or after an election to influence that person's vote. The topic will be the focus of discussions of GBN's Release It program on Wednesday with Godfrey Augustine.
It may have major implications for Grenada's next general elections if a judgment goes in the favor of the United Workers' Party in Dominica. The hosting of shows to entertain people during an election campaign, which has been a norm for Grenadian political parties, is now under the microscope by the Dominican High Court.
So on our program Release It this Wednesday, and by the way, the program will be live on GBN Television, our Facebook page and YouTube channel, as well as K105 FM, to discuss that issue, and our guest will be Attorney at Law Cara Shillingford. In fact, she's the attorney who represented the opposition party in Dominica with that case. We will also have Mr. Ruggles Ferguson, of course, a Grenadian attorney.
Godfrey Augustine, host of Release It on GBN, elaborates on how the issue connects with Grenadian politics.
In fact, the Dominica issue had to do with a show that was put on by the party where they brought in Morgan Heritage and another act to perform. So entertainment, food, drink, when it's provided corruptly for the intention of gaining votes or to cause someone not to vote, it is considered treating, it is illegal, and it's also considered corruption.
The election treating case from 2014 returned to the Dominica High Court, which first ruled that the magistrate did not have jurisdiction to hear the matter. However, both the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court and the Caribbean Court of Justice overturned the ruling.
As a matter of fact, treating is cited in the Grenada Representation of the People Act, Section 89(1) and 2. It speaks to election offenses, and things like bribery, treating, etc. are cited there. So we are going to discuss that, and we're going to get some information on the Dominica issue, and of course look at it in our context as it relates to our elections. Of course, election in Grenada is not very far from now, or not long from now, so we will look at it in our context and pay attention to what happens.
Augustine says they will be delving into the issues and possible impacts on Grenada if a similar case is made locally.
Because when you look at some of the things that has happened and some of the things that you've heard, of course, as I said, it would have to be proven in the court, but you've seen entertainment shows being put on. We know of people who have gotten items, and so whether or not it is done in light of what is cited as treating, because if it is proven that it is done corruptly to influence vote or to prevent people from voting, then definitely that is treating.
Windrush lawyer Grenadian Jacqueline Mackenzie will also join the discussion. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Let's take a look around the platform.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, while commenting on the transition issues faced by individuals in the Imani program, said persons who have been in the program for more than 2 years should be considered contract workers.
Those Imani who, I don't call Imanis, those who have passed the 2 years in the program, and I told them stop calling them Imani. They are, in a sense, for the time being, contract workers, and we should pay them contract pay, and they're working on this until a proper transition into a permanent situation is established, because in many cases they provide an excellent service, and if they're doing so and we need them, we need to secure them.
Our online audience were quick to give their opinions on the Prime Minister's statement. Lala commented, Imanis work for more money than contract cooks, contract cleaners, Indian store workers that labor all day. Mr. Prime Minister should be ashamed. Imani is the tool they use to keep them in power. Carisha commented, if the Prime Minister should call Imani workers contract workers, then there should be a raise in salary also. Trina asked, what is contract payment, Mr. Prime Minister? Because I know of Imanis who are getting more money than contract workers get right now. Jeanette commented, I for imprudent, M for misguided youth, A amongst, N, NNP, I insignificancies. And another individual commented, yet another scandal. Imani is terribly oversubscribed and it is not designed with planned access to available and sustainable jobs. Self-employment should be the real focus of the Imani. That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page. From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the GBN eyesore lens.
Tonight, our eyesore reporter is seeking the help of the viewers to identify what's photographed. Our reporter says she's been living there for the past 12 years and her husband for 22 years, and neither of them have seen this before. She says what is visible inside the shell is very light and is easily blown away by the wind. She also tried breaking off the branch, but it appears to be firmly connected. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp 1405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
A whole new level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, Because we are open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. Plumbing fixtures, cutting and grinding discs, PVC glue, drywall screws, and power saw blades. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand-name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
See the world and let the world see you with the best brands on eyewear from Quartz Optical. Come in today and get free eye exams, free blue block, and up to 20% off frame and lens purchases. Need sunglasses? With any purchase, get up to 80% off your sunglasses. Plus, with Ready Finance, you can shop today and pay $0 for 30 days. Visit us today at Quartz Yonge Street or call us at 435-2958 or visit us online at www.quartzoptical.com. Quartz Optical. Value you can see. Terms and conditions apply.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low? For one, we size our transformers just for what we need, and we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LED. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in.
How do you know if it is working?
We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
Renelec, energizing our Grenada.
Bruv.
Hello? I can't see you.
What's good?
But I can't even hear you.
Yo.
Hello? Hello? Ah.
Okay, I see you. I'm good. I'm coming in.
Ah. There you are.
Live the experience right now. Enjoy high-quality video calling today. Stream, upload, and share with Digicel super fast LTE network. Visit our stores today and live the experience today. Digicel.
Introducing Color by Sissons. Color by Sissons.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. Thank you so much for joining us. Those of you who stuck with us, thanks for your patience. Those of you who are just joining us, happy to have you. It is Tuesday, which means it's time to get some tips on how to make your money work for you. It's time for Money Matters. This segment of Good Morning Grenada is sponsored by Republic Bank. We thank them so much for coming on board with this initiative. And of course, my virtual guest this morning is Mr. Tarlie Francis, financial consultant. Good morning, Mr. Francis.
Good morning, and how are we?
I am good. How are you?
Man, it's a good day to talk Money Matters.
Amen. True that. Always good to learn how to make my money work for me. I think that's my favorite phrase. Eh?
It's a great phrase.
It is. So this morning we're talking how to save money on home improvements.
Yes.
But when you talk home improvements, that could take in anything, because a home, there are so many little nooks and cranny and things to fix and so on. So for this morning, what type of work we mean when we say home improvements? A little painting and redecoration? Or we talking like changing the roof, adding on a room? Which one we looking at today?
Well, you had it right the first time. Anything and everything.
Okay.
We want to save money on any kind of works done on the house, whether it's internal or external, whether it's a big project or a small project, regardless of the kind of house. Could be a board house, a concrete, a brick, stone, steel, any kind of house. Once you're doing work on it, that we call home improvement. And this should include repairs, renovation, remodeling, maintenance, replacements, upgrades, expansion, just about every single thing. And if you don't do that, then that means you're not really taking into consideration the kind of budgeting and the kind of level of spending and care you need to take to be sure that you don't waste money, but rather that you save money. So as far as saving money is concerned, though, with this home improvement area, what is good to do is to go back to the basics, the basic money saving principle. You remember we said, distinguish between needs and wants. In this case, we ask ourselves, the home improvement, the works that we want to do now, are those things that we need to do now or things that could wait around? You will know, it's easy to know. The things that you need to do now means that the place is unlivable or uncomfortable if you don't repair it, if you don't renovate. So it's high up on your spending priority because it's a need, you need to do it. The things that are not really needed, but you're desirable, you'd like to do it. It's like, for example, a little touch up on a paint that you want to do just because Mr. Jones owned down the road paint up last week, you want to paint up yours. That might be desirable, for example. You might have money to do it, but it's not a need at the time. So for money-saving purposes, you want to distinguish between needs and wants, even in this area of home improvement.
Okay, so home improvement covers any and everything to do with home. But yes, we have different kind of residents. We have people who rent, we have people who are landlords, people who live in their own homes. How would you address home improvements for each of these situations?
Great. Good way to start, because they're different in truth. And you save money in different ways depending on your situation, depending on whether you're a tenant. Let's take the tenant first. If you're a tenant, if you rent the place where you reside, you should not be making home improvements and repairs on your own, not for yourself. You want to fix something, but if you go out and you fix things and you spend your money and so on this house that you're renting, you could get into big trouble. For example, you could lose your security deposit. Nobody asked you to do this repairs on the house. In fact, even if you had permission from the landlord to do some repairs, and you use a contractor that the landlord didn't authorize or didn't approve, and he charged you money the landlord don't want to pay, you could run into trouble too. So you want to be careful if you are renting a place that the task of repairing and renovation, the home improvements, don't really fall to you. If the house has a need for repairs, as we described it earlier, then contact the landlord or the house manager and explain the situation. And in that case, they should cover the costs. And that cost should not be added on to your rent at all, because that belongs to them. But even in a situation where you end up having to pay for repairs, right, for one reason or another, still make sure that the repairs you do are repairs that the landlord agreed to. If not, you could run into real trouble. And by this, I mean trouble being in that you lose the money that you put in the property. It's not yours, so you really don't want to be improving it and so on, right? Now, in a very rare case, that you're a tenant and you got into a house, you want to nice it up and remodel it so that it is to your liking, and you got the permission to do that, but the instruction that when you're leaving, leave it as you found it. That is usually the landlord's requirement. You think very well, do your math, and make sure you calculate whether it's worth it to build up and remodel. You live in it, you like it, it's true, but then you have to tear it down when you finish. Is that really worth it? You would want to think about that. So anyway, that's a tenant. So tenant, be very careful. Repairs and renovation on the people's house is not yours. And even when you get a permission to do it, make sure you do just what the landlord agree, by who the landlord agree, and no more. Now, if you're a landlord now, if you're a landlord, you own the property and you making repairs to it. Some would be needs, others would be that you would like to have done to the property. The key thing for the landlord is to make sure that the repairs and the home improvement that you do are covered by the rent. Don't think you will improve and then jack up the rent. No, the rent is there, but you have to make sure that you keep your property in good repair. The tenants are happy, but at the same time, over the long run, the rent is covering the improvements that you do. Not in 1 month time, not in 2 months time, but over the long run. When you're renting, it's really a business proposition. And so as a business person, you have to have the business head on, and that is how you're going to save. If not, you won't be able to save. Now, when you do a lease to rent your property, make sure that inside there, you have, well, the lawyers will do that, but just for money saving purposes, you have to remember that you should have in the lease provisions so that if you need to do repairs because of a mistake or damages caused by the tenants, that the tenants have to pay for that. Yes, usually there's up to a certain amount of money, and beyond that, the tenant has to pay. The tenant has to call you, and then you do the repairs. But if those repairs were the result of the tenants or the tenants' guests' mistakes, then you want to be sure that they pay for it. You have to be careful because sometimes as a landlord, you want to charge the tenant something, but the tenant could say, no, but I just started to live here 1 year ago. That storage a block there, that couldn't be out of my use. I'm not paying for that. And the tenant will be quite correct. So you'd want to pay for those things out of your own pocket as a landlord and make sure that they're in good repair, because when they're not in good repair, the place get run down and your place get a bad reputation. You can't rent it over time anymore. So you want to be careful about those things. So that's your landlord. The key thing is that the landlord have to make sure that improvements and repairs you do shouldn't be for jacking up rent on people, should be that for the returns, the coverage of that to be in the income from the rent over time. Now, if you own your property now, here is where the good money attitude is even far more important, because all repairs, all improvements come from your pocket, period. Even insurance won't cover that. So, you want to be careful and have a good money attitude when you're repairing your house, which is what you asked this morning.
So, but with the cost of things like labor, material to do these renovations, how can people actually save on these home improvements? What can we do to save?
Right, good money attitude. Money Matters says this: time is money. Unless it's an emergency, always plan your home improvements and your home renovations and so on way ahead of time. Do it after you would have gone through a lot of time preparing to do it. I would say about 6 months before starting your home improvement, start to plan it. Start to plan out what you're going to do and so on. In this way, you plan well and you can make good decisions so that you don't waste money, but rather you save money. You can make decisions on what works would be done exactly, what materials you're going to use, whether you're going to use a contractor or you're going to do it yourself, or whether you're going to do a combination of contractor and do it yourself. Which contractor to use? When you have time, you take your time and you calmly prepare all these things so that when you're spending, you're not spending in a rush, you're not spending in a hurry. That's very important, because money that is wasted in a rush, money that is spent in a rush, is money that is not saved. Money that come to pay for rush works, rush jobs, these things always cost more money than if you take your time and you plan it way ahead. So for example, right now, we're in the month of May, And now in the month of May is the time that we should start preparing to do what we want to do for the Christmas. You want to nice up your house for the Christmas? You want to do some repairs for the Christmas? You should prepare now, because even those Christmas works that you want to do, you want to try to have those things started all the way back September, maybe October, so that they all get finished by the first week in December. If you leave everything for December, everybody else getting contractor, every contractor is more expensive, every hardware store selling things more expensive, etc. So you want to prepare your work before, way ahead. I mean, it's like now is a good time to start preparing for the repairs that you know you would want to do, even at Christmas. This year, 2021, I'm talking about.
Okay, all right, yeah, man, that's a long time, but it helps to save. All right, okay, I'm learning. No, but most people may have like a money decisions on hands today, and it'd be hard to start thinking and taking action now for Christmas. Or painting the living room, bedroom for Christmas, painting outside, which is like 6 months away. So how will this help savings?
Again, money attitude. The best money attitude is the one that would save us and help us to save money. If you approach things well, then that means you're respecting your money. You don't expect your money to just do things that you have in your head that you want to do. You're preparing yourself so that you spend money and you will spend it well. So here's a money attitude. Again, positive one comes into play. If the improvements you want to do at Christmas would have been paid for by the Christmas fairy, then that's okay. The Easter angel wouldn't come and drop some money outside your door so that you're going to do the renovation for Easter or Carnival or for whenever. And so it's important to think way ahead and to prepare. That is important because at least you know long before what you want to do and you could prepare. Even if you have money saved up already for you to use in your home repair that you want to do just before hurricane season. Well, the hurricane genie didn't bring that money. You save that hard-earned money. So now you want to make sure you prepare for it so you're not rushing to buy the wrong material, then to end up with the wrong contractor, all this sort of thing, to repair your windows, to put in window shutter or something like that. So that is why it's still important. It is difficult, it's not easy, I quite agree. But for those who succeed in money matters and in savings, it is because they are intentional about when they do their repairs and how much they spend on their repairs, and so because they spend time thinking about it, not rushing to do it when you know you want it done.
Well, okay, so in my mind, to not waste money means to save money.
Yes.
So what approach, or better, what practical steps could help save money on home improvements?
Okay, here again, we say it's not very easy, and sometimes when you have this thing on your mind to do, you just have it to do, and then you just get up and get it done. That's how our approach is most of the times. But really, it's good to prepare. As I say, time is one thing, but practical steps you can take. Number one, I think you can lay down the project. It's important to lay out your project, and by that I mean write it down on your back of the envelope or on a little sheet of paper and so on, exactly what you want to do. So at least you have a note and you can speak anytime about it, or you can share it with a contractor or anybody. Yes, you want to upgrade the kitchen, for example, but what will be done in the kitchen? You want to do the tiles, you want to do the cupboard, what you want to repair in the kitchen, you want to upgrade the kitchen for Christmas, but what you want to do? You want to repair the pantry, you want to do cupboards, you want to do the cupboard doors, or you want to do the whole cupboards. All these are important things for you to decide beforehand. Even if you want to get somebody to help you to decide what's the best thing to do, you do it beforehand so that you know as a home improvement project that this is what you're going to do. Because you see, my friend, if you don't prepare in that way, it means that you're allowing your money later on to either spend out yourself to do what you're just guessing that it would be done, or you get a tradesman to do something, he do one part, he didn't know you want to do the other part, and so on. So, laying out things is important. Then which material to buy, you want to do the cupboard, you want to be in that style, so even now, you can prepare yourself for that. Another thing you can do is to separate the projects that you want to do home improvement into needs and wants again. Some things, because we don't say you shouldn't do things that you want to do and you would like to do, The point is to make sure that you're intentional about it and you spend your money knowing that you're doing this, not because it's a need, but it's desirable, and you have the budget for it. So you separate it so that when you put your budget for this Christmas or for this Easter or for this Carnival, before Carnival or after hurricane season, you know that this is the amount you're planning to spend. And so between needs and wants kind of thing to do in the house, or on the property, you say, all right, I'm going to do this one this year, I'm going to leave that one for next year. So you separate the project into needs and wants, so you know what you're doing when. The other thing is to choose a project that makes sense. So, for example, you might want to do 3 different things on the house as major thing. You might want to change the windows, you might want to paint the outside, you might want to repair the roof. But you see, you might be not prioritizing them well. Let's say, for example, the hurricane season really shake up your roof last year. That means you have the roof to repair as a priority. But you want to paint up as well. You want to paint up because Nenen and them coming down, and you want to make sure that they have the place nice and so on. But what is the priority? Nenen and them will live in that place and enjoy themselves, whether you paint it or not. But with the roof not there, after the next hurricane season, which is more violent than last time, so your priority should be straight. Separate your project or choose a project that make real good sense, especially based on your budget. We're not speaking here only to the people who have plenty of money now. We're speaking especially to the people who need to save and spend your money wisely, right? It should be everybody, but we're paying attention to those who would then make that mistake. Don't do that. The good money attitude is to separate your project between what is essential. This one is key. I must do that one. Some people, for example, you patch up a little thing for the time being, and for the last 3-4 months, because you're working, you're using the pipe on that side and you're using the pipe in the kitchen sink. Well, this time it's time to call the plumber, not really to paint the veranda so that the veranda will look nice from outside, for your comfort inside. So you separate your project, and you save a lot of money by this, Blossom, because the things that are to be done that are necessary, whether you leave them off for tomorrow or you do them today, is saving you money. Especially if you do them today, you really are using your money wisely. Right? And then you want to break down your project into small parts. Sometimes you have a big thing you want to do, but you want to break it down into small parts. The importance of breaking things down into small parts is that if you prepare in time, you can do some now, some in June, some in August. And so by the time you get to December, you're not waiting to do one big bulk project. And your money also is being spent properly, and you save in so that between now and December, you take care of this portion. For example, doorknobs. If doorknobs is part of the thing, you could buy your knobs all now. What is the problem? You don't have to wait until December to buy a knob. You can look out for deals and so on, because you plan ahead what you want to do. You want to do cupboards, and you keep paying attention, and as soon as you hear the deal, you go and you buy your doorknob. You don't need to buy it when the contractor needs it in December, yeah? But most important for practical ways to save money is to make a budget. We say use a budget for your regular spending. We started the series with a program that spoke about budgeting, but in home improvement it's important to budget too. When you budget, all you're doing is you're putting down how much money you have or how much money you intend to save to be able to do the home improvement, and then you work out with your contractor, your tradesman, or whoever, what it will cost approximately. You call up your warehouses and your hardware store, you find out what the things will cost, and you put on the amount of money that you plan to spend so that you can intentionally, from the financial point of view, do your house repair. This is very important, budgeting.
Speaking of budgeting, a lot of times, even earlier in the program, you spoke of figuring out or planning the project. Should you hire a contractor or do it yourself? When it comes to do it yourself, we hear of many times when the home or the project is half finished because husband or fiance decided they're doing it themselves, but they spoil the thing. Yeah. And they hire their friends and they didn't finish the thing properly. So the question is do-it-yourself a good approach to saving, or should you let the experts do it and do their thing and pay them?
Right. I mean, unless the husband or the fiancé is a do-it-yourself person, is an expert in himself, then the project will end up half-finished. One of the things about half-finished projects, and we go around the country and we see a lot of half-finished projects in truth, even from the outside. And that's where people, try to do it themselves. You try to do it with your cousin. You try to do it with people who don't really know. You just take a helping hand and so on. One thing about helping hand and these things is that there are some hidden costs when you're getting help out and when you're getting cousin and neighbor and so on. Hidden costs, like, for example, you have to go and pick them up. You have to go and drop them back. All that costs of your project as well. Then you have to give them food when they come. Then you have to have a little drink by the side. All that costs of your project are building up. So sometimes do it yourself in that way and self-help doesn't really go through. I'm not talking about the old-time self-help where everybody bring a little thing and we work together on building a house or repairing a house. I talk about the self-help that has happened these days, like what you're saying, I try to do it myself and I botch it. But yes, do it yourself really is one of the easiest ways to save money in the area of house repairs. Now, some things require great technical skill and others don't. Painting, for example. I mean, it's a skill and you need to do it, and you have tradesmen who do it. But chances are you could paint. You and your son and you could paint. So you might want to do that portion yourself, and it will save you a one tradesman fee. And you could actually paint, not just so you could paint over time. Then you could decide when you paint. You could paint when you send the children down in summer holidays. You send them like granny and nanny, and you paint the house that time bit by bit. Whole night you're painting, in the morning you go to work and things. Things like that. So but you don't need any big skill for that. You could try that. But if you're talking about laying tiles, that's a different thing. You want to use a contractor for that, because what you're going to do is waste money or end up with a project that, tiles, dancing and so on after they set. So you want to be careful about that. But if your hand not too wrong like mine, you could do as much as you can with it, do it yourself. That saves a lot of money. And if your hand really wrong, make sure you call the tradesman and the experts for everything. But don't be afraid. If you can, take the challenge and do as much as you can for yourself. One thing I want to say, Blossom, there is that, as you mentioned that, we should be intentional still. You're not doing it because you don't want to spend money. You're doing it because you want to save money. So what you save from doing it yourself, make sure you put it aside for the next project, for example, or for the other need that you have to do, or to pay the other contractor. Or make sure you put it for savings, into your savings for your future spending.
That's an important part. You do it to save money, but sometimes the money that we save, we don't put it into savings, and we spend it somewhere else. So that's a good point.
Good money attitude. It means that you're really thinking about that and you're doing it.
So in the instance where you may hire a contractor or a tradesman, is there any way you can pay them a fair price and still keep costs low enough to be able to save money?
Right, that's a big question. And contractors are very important. Let's take first the general contractor. What a general contractor does is that the general contractor makes sure everything is done right. The correct material, the skilled people, and he coordinates things to make sure things are done when they're supposed to be done and so on. Some home improvement projects don't need a general contractor. And others, even when they need a general contractor, if you are very diligent about your work, you know what you want to do. The tradesmen know how to do what you want to do. So you could be your own project manager and save a lot of money that way rather than pay a general contractor, depending on if you're able. So the contractors now, you determine which one you want based on what the project is that you want to do. And you will find that a lot of times you could just employ some good tradesmen, plumbers, you could employ a good AC technician, a person carpentry with window, or a person could lay tiles separately, and you can get your work done at a cost that is reduced from if you do the thing as a big project and you begin a contractor who then bring in men, because every middle person gets a piece out of your money. And if you do the coordination, then that is a way you save money as well. Again, it's not that you want to pay less just for the reason of paying less. You want to spend less on your project so that you will have money back, so that you can do other things that you need to do. Another important way when you have to employ a contractor is to make sure you take bids. Don't just take the first fella down the road because he's nearby. Don't just take the first fella that you see on the radio because he's very famous and you're advertising. Take some bids, 1 or 2, 3 people, even if it's a medium-sized project you have, to find out which one will give you the better price for the work that you want to do. Here again, is important. That's why it's important to write down, lay out your project so that you know what you want to do, so that you could tell each one of them exactly what you want to do, and each one of them give you a price for it, right? Now, when you decide on a contractor, another way that you save money is like this. We people now, we kind of don't like to bargain, we don't like to beg, and we'll be ashamed to take our man and so on. Even if you decide on a contractor, don't take the first price that he give you. Always bargain. Contractors always have some room inside their price that you could take out of, and they could give it back to you by you negotiating early. So always try, and you could be haggling, and they go say, boy, he or she, that is a person that they had to work for, But the point is you making sure that your money will work for you, not it slip into their pocket because you didn't really negotiate with them. So that's another way in which you save money when you have to employ a contractor. Now, if the opportunity is there, then consider purchasing your material for yourself. Don't leave it to the contractor to buy it. Now, if you won't purchase it for yourself, you still want to make sure that you discuss with the contractor so you buy the material you need. Because a way in which you could lose money, waste money, is to buy the wrong things because you didn't discuss with the tradesman or the contractor. So you are no contractor, you're no tradesman. So all you have to do, you discuss with them, you make sure the material that you have to get, the quantity, the quality, where you could get it and all, you tell them. You could even bring sample for them to see if that if that is possible and necessary. And then once they tell you, yes, that's it, you go ahead and you buy it. The reason is that the contractor doesn't get out of the material markup. You'll have your markup too, you have to drive it, you have to bring it, so that's the thing. Some contractors get discount from the stores, so you also have to weigh that. Is it will you get a better discount than them? They get discount because they do a lot of contracted work and they buy a lot from a certain store, so they get discounts. So you could benefit from that, but you have to negotiate that well. If you have the chance, buy the material yourself or get into the contractor business to know this material, how much of material cost is in the contracted fee that you have to pay him.
No,
a lot of us afraid to talk with the contractor, that's the thing. So that's
the thing. We're afraid. We always feel like there's a price, and we've done that.
Yes. Yes.
And sometimes, like when you bring your own material, that may be a little bit of a hassle for some people. But how can you save when you buy your own material instead of leaving it up to the contractor to buy them?
Well, again, store discounts is one way. You get store discounts to give you discount because you're buying. And maybe the size of the project you're doing allow you to buy in bulk in a way so that you could, you could pay cheaper than if you just buy one thing. So store discounts is one thing. The other way, if you have the chance to buy your own material, is that you could shop around. The contractor may be buying from that store that he accustomed with, but you could shop around and buy from other store, and maybe you might find that you get cheaper prices elsewhere than where he is telling you to go to buy it. Then deals. If you plan ahead, like now for Christmas, when you get to immediately after hurricane season, some things the prices drop, or immediately before Christmas, the prices rise. So you want to look out for deals between now and December because you know what you want to do already, and so you know what materials you would use. So if you buy the material, you actually have the opportunity during the time between now and the project start to look for deals for it, right? And then the other way, if you're buying the material, is to look for alternatives or switching between what you really should be using. For example, doors. You could use a steel door, you could use a wooden door, you could use, when I say steel, a metal door, wooden door, you could use, there's just no hard plastic door. I don't know what it's called, but it's cheaper than what we would have done otherwise. So if it is not concerning to you that you have decorative wood as your door with glass and all that, maybe you can find that you could use those. So substitute products if you buy the material helps. And for example, if you're fixing your bathroom and the bathroom set comes with a glass door and all that, you might find that you can buy 4 different curtains to use on each season of the year. And it's far cheaper than if you buy that glass door to use, and the contractor might have had that door in the solution for you. So if you buy your material, you have all this to do, to all these opportunities, and you also have the changes you could make and the different things you could use. But all this means that you spend less and you don't waste as much, and you could finish your project on time at a lower price.
Now, as we close this morning, I have let's call it like a 3-in-1 question about home improvement, savings, costs, and loans. The question is, a lot of people sometimes when they know it's a need, and their best bet, they don't have the finances now, and their best bet is to get a loan. The question is it good money management to take out a loan to pay for home improvements, or should I pay for it out of pocket?
Right. Well, I know some lenders have something they call home improvement loans, yes. And they nice it up in a way that, is very attractive. And so the thing about it, especially if it's a need, it's a good reason to take out a loan. So I would say that, yes, it's a good reason to take out a loan. In the context, though, we have to say that in that case, if you take out a loan, you have to make sure some key things. One, make sure the project will be done well, that there wouldn't be any botching of the project because you're taking out a loan for it. Secondly, make sure that the project will be completed on time. So you don't have to be paying men any extra money for being any long time in there. So make sure you schedule the thing well, especially if you take out a loan and if you're using contractors more so, right? And then make sure there is little or no overrun. Cost overrun is when you had to buy more material than you expected, or material wasted, so you had to do over things and so. Don't take a loan and have shoddy jobs done, right? Because that will really cost you. And make sure that whatever you're taking out a loan to do improves the value of the property. It shouldn't be taking out a loan for patchworks and so on that won't improve the value. If you're taking out a loan, make sure you're using it on a project that is worth taking out a loan for. Now, in my view, the best option for home improvements, especially the medium size and the small one, is to pay them with cash. And the reason is that when you take out a loan, what you're actually doing is that on top of the cost of the project itself, you put in a cost which is interest. So your project ends up costing you the project cost itself plus the interest for the money to pay for the project cost. And that's why if you could avoid it, you would want to take out that loan. But if you do have to take out a loan, this is what you should do when you go to your loans officer. Make sure you go to your loans officer. What is the shortest possible time I could get to pay off that loan with an affordable monthly payment or fortnightly payment or whatever? And the reason is that you don't want to be living in the house for home improvements 5 years from now and you're still paying back something you did for Christmas 5 years ago. So you want to be careful about that. So you take the shortest time possible to repay the loan. But yes, it's a good reason for taking a loan. You just have to be intentional again about it. Make sure your budget is right. Make sure you have your interest cost in your mind and that you repay it over the shortest possible time so that you don't pay so much interest on top of the cost of the project itself. Right? So even the loans, contractors give loans sometimes, those ones have higher interest rate. Again, you try to avoid those because it means higher cost of the project itself. So I would say, yeah, it's a need. You get a good deal with the bank or your lender, go for it. You can take a loan, it's a good reason. Just don't go overboard and just don't take it for things that are not needs, but they are things that you just feel you like to do at this time.
I have a question on the WhatsApp. Somebody is asking on the WhatsApp, do you have any advice on how you can save money if you're building a home in Grenada from
Right. If you're building a home in Grenada from abroad, for my point of view, the key thing is to make sure if you're abroad, somebody on the ground who is trustworthy is handling the money. And somebody on the ground who is a very good contractor, reputable, make sure the track record is good for building when the owner is in absentia, I would say, the owner not here. So you need these two very, very key persons. You need your personal representative who is watching your money and making sure you ain't going on the drain. And you need a contractor who is very reliable, and we have a lot of them in Grenada as well, who is very reliable, has a good track record, and who will not be digging out your eye because you're not there. That is how you save money. You make sure that, now some people will say, what about bringing in the goods from abroad and that sort of thing? There are a lot of things about that, If you have the tax concessions and all that sort of thing, work out the maths good. In that case, you put all that in the mix, right? So for your concrete situation, I will have to look at all of that. Don't be afraid, you can contact me and then I'll help you out with that. But in a general, what you want to do is to make sure you have these two things. Your good representative on the ground who is watching your money, not watching how they're building it and so on, but watching your money, how it's being spent, and make sure you're not even bound to send the money to that person, You could send the money, electronic banking, you send it as you, but the person should be taking the eyeball on the ground to make sure that it's being spent in the right way. And your contractor, don't be trying to coordinate a plumber and so on from over there. That side of internet contracting isn't really happening yet. So you need to get a person on the ground who could actually be doing that and making sure that 2 bags of cement was 2 bags of cement. They were there and they were using the project. Somebody should be doing it as well, and a contractor who knows what to do. Yeah.
Good
Wonderful.
sound advice. I like that. Thank you very much, Mr. Francis. Next week, please, Lord, what are we talking about next week?
Next week, we're going into mortgage loans. Now, you know, this thing is sponsored by Republic Bank, so we have to be very good on the discussion we have there. But mortgage loans is, one of the loans that almost everybody who crossed the age of 20, 25 and gone into a family, or even going into a family, you start looking at a mortgage because you want to own your piece of the land, your piece of the rock, and you want to have your own place. We will look at how to save when you take mortgage loans.
All right. I know a lot of people will be tuned in, and I'm getting kudos. Somebody on WhatsApp says, good information. Everything you said this morning is so true. So everybody's taking your advice, and it's ringing true for all of or most of us. So thank you so much. Looking forward to next week, please, a lot.
Very well. You have a wonderful day, and a wonderful day to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You enjoy your Tuesday as well. Enjoy. See you next week, please, a lot.
Yes.
Financial consultant Tarlie Francis, we thank him so much. Remember, Money Matters is sponsored by Republic Bank, and this is letting your money work for you. Good financial sense. Make financial sense. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we get into just a little bit of Trivia Tuesday. Good morning, Grenada. We'll be right back.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, Daisy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Understanding our ocean is education for life. Encourage your students to learn about marine life, water quality, sea level rise. Let them explore sciences. Encourage them through field trips and scholarships. The more they know, the better they can protect our oceans from litter and climate change. Let them rise to the challenge. The ocean is our responsibility, their inheritance, their future.
This message brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the Government of Norway. Remlit, tackling ocean pollution from turf to surf.
Welcome back to Good Morning Grenada. We have about 3 minutes for a little bit of Trivia Tuesday, and I always have to try to leave you with some information, some health benefits as much as I possibly can. So here's what's going on this morning. We have time for one, so we're going to deal with a fruit this morning. So this fruit is full of nutrients and can help prevent arthritis, coughs, colds, diarrhea, and even help with snake bites, just in case. It can also strengthen the immune system, relieve spasm, improve digestion, help in weight loss. It gives energy, combats anemia. It helps in proper functioning of the body. Which fruit am I speaking about? Landline number 435-2041. WhatsApp number is also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. Don't send me a picture of the fruit. Just take your time and type it out. It's only letters. Take your time. You can also answer the question on Facebook and YouTube. This fruit, let me give you a hint. It's afraid to give already hint. It's currently in season. You know what? Time is of the essence. It's currently in season. Or at least getting into the season. This fruit, full of nutrients and help prevent arthritis, cough, cold, diarrhea, can help treat snake bites. And it can also strengthen the immune system, relieve spasm, improve digestion, help in weight loss, give energy, combat anemia, help in proper functioning of the body. Not the body, no, the body. Which fruit are talking about? 2 minutes. Let me go. Morning caller.
Yeah, morning blossom. Making a guess is Tambran.
Tambran? Okay, try again. Take a next guess. I was going to give you a next try. Let me go. Which fruit are talking about? Somebody on YouTube says papaya. Somebody's on Facebook say pineapple, and somebody else says soursop. WhatsApp, somebody says soursop. This person says mango. There we go. I ain't see the answer yet. I could tell you that much. Come on, 1 more minute. This fruit can help treat or prevent arthritis, cough, cold, diarrhea, treat snake bites. It can help strengthen the immune system, relieve spasm, improve digestion, help in weight loss, give energy, combat anemia, help in proper functioning of the body. Which fruit am I speaking? Which fruit are I speaking about? I whisper in the bad English. Let me go. Ollie, hold on. We have 30 seconds. Let me see if that person have it here. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
How you do?
Not too bad.
What do you think the answer is?
Custard apple.
Custard apple. Make a next guess.
Okay.
All right. 30 seconds. Okay, 15 seconds. Let me give Ollie the answer. The fruit that I am speaking about that can, hold on, that person, I feel that person have it. Good morning, caller. Lemon. Try again. Make a next guess. See, I'm giving all the chances, all you don't want it. The fruit I'm speaking about that can help prevent arthritis, cough, cold, diarrhea, treat snake bites. It can strengthen the immune system, relieve spasm, improve digestion, help in weight loss, give energy, combat anemia, helps in proper functioning of the body. Plum. Red plum, and I ain't talking about the fancy plum we import. I'm talking about the plum outside on the tree. We eating it half ripe and all kind of thing. We making stew with it. Oh, good plum stew. Plum I'm talking about. Who knew plum could help treat snake bite? I think that's the one that stood out to me the most. A whole snake bite, you know. I mean, we may not have much of them here attacking us at least, but you never know. Oh, the boy is out there. Okay, Ollie, let's get ready for the BBC's 8 a.m. newscast. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. It's a wonderful day to have a wonderful day. Bye, people. Let's join the BBC for the 8 a.m. newscast. Have a good one.
What really happened to the love that's on the inside? Well, I don't want to hate, but my song you appreciate. So have a good day. Such a beautiful day to have a good day. Don't care what nobody say, just have a good day. Such a beautiful day to have a good day. Such a beautiful day.